Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a tech fix upgrade review of this, my CGS DDM4 PDW. It's also EMG, I think, as well. They kind of stick their name on everything. But basically, I've had some issues with this recently. I had this gun as potentially just being like my HPA gun. So if you saw me do it, I basically took the AirTac system where it had a, what do you call it? What do I call it? AirTac dead drop grip, I think they called it, where you run the HPA line with your adapter, put it through and into the actual pistol grip. It runs out through the bottom. So it's a gas blowback, but it basically works as if it's an HPA with the line in the same place. I then also took, I think it was their trigger guard, so it ran the line through there. And they also sent me one of their MP5 conversion, like MWS things. So that worked great. However, recently I was like, oh, I quite want to play around with this and try it in some different formats. So I ended up going and just saying, you know what, I'm going to convert it back. So I've got this 3D printed grip on it that I put on there. It's like the knobbly grip. I gave one of these away. I'm trying it out. I'm not 100% sure on it yet, but I do quite like how it feels. Like it just feels very vertical, kind of like one of those die-free co-grips. I actually got a Magpul trigger guard to go in there because actually originally it came with the Daniel Defense one that was an all-in-one, and there's been a couple of issues that I've had with it. First issues being that actually it just seems to be getting a bit of like the bolt just seems to be like catching at some points. Like I'll be firing it and I'll try and give you a demonstration now, but I'll be trying to fire it and then sometimes for some reason it's just like catching. So I don't know if it's an issue with the bolt, what it is, but I kind of was like, I need to fix that. The other one is this, which came up in the last video. There's a little bit of give between the front rail and the actual upper receiver, which really just annoys me. I don't think it's enough wiggle that's going to be an issue, but it just annoys me. So it's something that I'm going to have to figure out. And so when I was there, I went to Evite this morning. And when I was there, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to try and remove this rail and kind of open it up and see stuff, maybe what I'll end up doing is just doing some upgrade work on it. So today in the video, I'm going to be testing out, I'll show you hopefully the issue that I'm having with this bolt. I got their super high speed bolt that they make for the CGS system. This is the Cyma one made by them. So I'm hoping that this will be able to see like a notice in terms of like the speed of how fast it's firing. So I'm going to basically drop that in and use that. They also do an adjustable trigger box. And I'll show you here, like the trigger on this isn't bad, but it's just kind of like mushy. There's no real like wall to it, and I just don't like it. Like it's kind of like, and then there, the reset didn't even go there. So I want to play around with that trigger. I'm going to try and like switch it out and we'll try and tune it and make it a bit better. And then I also got a different inner barrel, which is like a 6.03, this one, or a 6.05. I think it's a 6.03 from Poseidon. And then I've got one of these Friction Pro from 4UAD, one of their hop rubbers, which apparently are amazing. I put them in a couple of my guns recently. They've worked really well. And so, you know, I'm going to kind of go with what people are telling me, which is that this thing's pretty great. So what I'll do is I'll try and show you guys quickly what the issue I'm having with this thing is. I've got the CGS loader. It could also be a mag issue, so I haven't really played around with switching out mags or anything yet. But this is their T8 system CGS mag that the gun came with. I've also just done the video on this, which is the target. So I'll try and show you here. We'll see if we have an issue that comes up. Of course, now it's not going to. Okay, so I'm not getting bolt lock there. Okay, now I did. So for some reason I didn't get the issue there, but that little like brrr will give you an idea of like the speed at which it's firing at. So we'll test the other bolt now. So for some reason that was fine, and I didn't get that issue, but I definitely have had this thing where it just kind of jams, like it feels like the nozzle's just misaligned or it's not picked up the BB properly. It does sound really cool, this thing. Like I do love the like clack that it has. Oh, for some reason my bolt was like actually, not fully forward there. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. I'm just going to swap out this bolt carrier group, and then we can just have a look and just see the difference. Weirdly, look at this. So I have never noticed this before, but it's like someone has taken, what do they call that stuff that you used to do? It was like Tipex? No, like a little marker, and basically covered some kind of writing there. It feels fine. Like the nozzle actually doesn't feel bad at all. I probably could lubricate this slightly. There's no real signs of like, I don't know why I'm still wearing these. There's no real signs of like wear on it. I haven't been using it that much, to be honest, which is the weird thing, is that it just started having that problem. Annoyingly, like, so this does have the Daniel Defense branding on it right there. Which obviously with this one now, it's not going to have that. But I'll get this one out. The cost of this was quite a lot. It's supposed to be a steel bolt. And I feel like sometimes when you go like, oh, I'm going to put a steel bolt in it, you actually cause more damage than you do. But it's their SY002. It also comes with this, which I think is a new set of rollers if your other ones crap out. Which again, isn't a great sign. Like, I like that they've sent you extra stuff. Come on, come out. I like that they've sent you extra stuff in case, but it almost to me is like a little bit of a, oh right, are these things breaking really easily, which is why they're doing that. To kind of like stop themselves having to like repair or ship you out other parts. It's got a lot of grease in there, which is why this little bag is sticking. But that's the... that's that part. I'm going to try and not just kind of grease this straight away. It's got some grease on it. You can see here the difference. It's got these rollers right here. I'll put a link to these below. This actually unscrews, and that wasn't fully tight, which isn't a great sign. Let me just... So that unscrews there. I'm not going to mess with it. But that, I'm hoping, doesn't come loose as I'm using it. It's got 3 rollers on all the sides. This one has 1 roller underneath and doesn't have that. This is supposed to be the high-speed one. It looks, in terms of design, very similar. It's got T8 written on the top instead of CGS right there. Nozzles. Okay, so this is an issue. This nozzle's not returning. This is the new one that we've just got. So I'm not entirely excited about this, to be honest. Might just be that it needs some lubrication and just moving around a bit. But you can see here the nozzle return on this one. That's great. That's going back and forward. This one is not. So I'm going to get some just silicone oil. I'm just going to put it on there. I'll pause you quickly. Okay, so I've got some silicone oil. I'm just going to put this on these edges here and just try and see if we can get this. I don't want to get it in the end, like the top part. It might just be that this has been sitting, you know, in this bag for a while. But it definitely, it kind of sounds like it's got resistance. So I'm going to put some actually on the bolt as well. It's starting to loosen up more. But you can hear that. See what I mean? It's like a, okay, that's now moving. So at least that's coming back now. Let's put a bit more on here. Don't want to overdo it, but equally I do want to get this working and not wait around. Yeah, it's not fully going in. There we go. It might make a bit of a weird noise though when we're firing it. Okay, so let's try this one out. Kind of a bit like, okay, well, I'm going to fire it and then it's not going to work properly. Let's see about this. Put this new bolt in. I think that is like some issues that I've heard with some of these systems, like the CGS, is some people are like, oh, they're great. Some people are like, they're great, but they don't last that long, or like the quality of them isn't like a TM quality, which is very hard to live up to be honest. Okay, so let's go with that. Lock's fine. Okay, so the real thing that we want to test out is going to be this, which is the full auto. So it's quicker, and look at this though. I've got like half bolt lock there, and we're out. But that should not be, you can see here, that nozzle is not returning. If you look here. So I'm going to need to play around with this nozzle if we're going to use this as the new part in here. Or play around with how the nozzle is coming in and out of that bolt. I mean, it performed, like it did work, and it was firing, but obviously I can't see the distance. What I will do is probably another video on this after I've done this kind of fix build out, and I'll do a comparison of the bolts. Because I think this bolt's like $180, so it's a hugely expensive bolt to put into a gun that's only like, you know, 400 total. And if that is the quality that we're starting out with, then I'm not overly excited, to be honest. It's the same with this here. Look. That's the same there. Okay, so that's not really pushing that hard. Okay, right, so we'll leave the bolt off to one side. We're going to take the upper apart. We'll leave the charging handle. Ergonomically, I do really like this though. Like how it feels in the hand is really good. So if I can get this thing working well, I'm going to be excited because it is fun. And I do also like the grey colour. I think probably some people will be like, no, I hate that, it's horrible, but I like it. It's just a bit different. I had actually a grey K2 Plus grip that I was going to use, and that was going to be a K2 Plus grip, and that was, it just looked weird on it. I kind of thought, oh, this is going to look great, and it just didn't. It looked really weird. So let's put these over here as well. Right, so I think what we'll do is we'll start maybe on this, which will be the upper, and then I'll go and finish with the trigger box. Because I'll mess around with that after, because that is the one that could take a little bit longer when we're doing it. But we'll start with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the... I'm going to remove the actual front rail because there's a wobble on it. And I'm not sure, because I haven't done any research before this video, of how to take this thing apart. Mainly, I was like, okay, we'll figure it out, which might not be the best idea. But I think if I remove this rail, I'm going to have to remove the rail either way. So I'll remove the rail, and then we can figure out, what should I do here? I'll put this here, maybe, and this here. Okay, that's working. Okay, that one's off. This one here. Yep, that's coming off. Because it could be that I have to take the inner barrel and the hop unit out from the inside. I also can't remember how I did it with my MWS. Like, I haven't worked on an MWS kind of ish platform for a while, and this is one of those. But I'm going to have to tighten up the barrel nut on the inside, because I think that's where the issue is happening, that we have this. That's not great. Okay, so this might not be the best for this. Okay, that's fine, that went. Might not be the best. Put that in. This could end up being a very short, like easy, fast video, or it could be one of those ones which is just really long. And I'm hoping it's the first. But I would love to get this thing working really well, use it for CQB and indoor. Like my little short one. Like I had it on HPA and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have this as my HPA version. And I just don't use HPA as much as I thought I would. Especially when it comes to like indoors. I just love doing the reloads. I love like not having the line. And so I've just not been playing HPA at all. So I was like, okay, well, I kind of want to just convert this back. And it's so easy to do with an HPA conversion. It's not like you've done anything to the actual replica to damage it. I can't get this off as well, this flash hider, which is kind of really annoying. And now I've realized that I'm going to have to remove this to get it over the top. That's the, because it's not going to get over this flash hider or this compensator. Without taking this off, because the M-lock screws are in the way. Trying to get to it without. Okay, so that's my Magpul MVG. Remember where that was on here. I think it was in the middle. So that should now just come off. That's the rail with my little Vitar 2, what's it called? The M8LG, which I really like. It's just super easy and lightweight. This is now gonna come off, I think. Or maybe not. And the movement is here. So it should be the barrel nut that I need to tighten. But what I'm gonna have to do, I think, is take the barrel nut off. I might have an issue with this suppressor here. Okay, you know what I'm going to do is grab this little guy. And it's almost like I've stripped this screw, I think. That's going to be a problem. I've like tried to get this out before, now I'm remembering. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that. Too small. And this could be a big issue. That undoing that screw. Like that's the horrible, dreaded thing to see, is those little like metal shards on the end. So what I think that means is I'm not undoing it and I'm just stripping it further. Okay, so what I'm thinking is maybe if I take this gas block out just with this knocking pin, and then this gas block and probably the follower, I can just kind of remove that forward. I think that's going to be what we're going to have to do. Okay, I'm going to need a small one of these. I'm going to need my hammer. I'll go this way. Actually, maybe I'll leave that on and I can just slide that out if I get... I'm going to undo these. This is where I, again, should have done a lot of research before this and figured out what I was doing. Okay, so that's good. That's coming out. Okay, yeah, I'm right. So if I slide this forward, that should just come off as I do it. There we go. Okay, so that's coming out and I don't need to disattach that, which is good. I'm just going to need quickly like a barrel nut remover for this. So I'm going to grab that 1 second, pause you again. I kind of just paused you and then resumed you there very quickly. So this is another one of those tools that I've hardly ever used, but you do need it. Let me just think which way I'm going with this. I'm going to go the other way. And I think this is going to be the right size. I'm hoping it is. Okay, cool. So that was loose, which is why that was wiggling around to start with. So hopefully when I put it back together, if I can tighten that properly, then we should be all good. So that's there, that's there. Now, can I just pull this barrel out? Yep. It looks like I can. Might need to flick this guy up. It's almost like it looks slightly like the little ledge at the top there is just catching. I'm trying to think if that is catching, is there a way for me to... So that is the hop adjuster. But it's going to come out this way. I'm 99% sure. So what can I do there to just make that come up a bit further? Can I rotate it? I just need to pull hard. Yep, there we go. Okay, cool. So that is the outer barrel off, and actually what it's left is this in place, which is the inner barrel and the hop adjuster. So I think maybe I need to take a flathead screwdriver. Oh no, it's come out. That's fine. Okay, so that's good. All right, so now we've taken that apart. We're going to keep these off to one side as well. And now what I need to do is basically replace this barrel. And the annoying thing is I couldn't get one that I think is quite long enough. I think this is going to be slightly shorter, but I also think that that might be fine. I don't think it's a big issue. I just dropped a piece of plastic tubing, which shouldn't be a big deal. But apparently these Poseidon barrels are really good. This I think was a 165 millimeter, whereas this is a 170. So it should be about like 5 millimeters difference. Okay, taking this thing apart, it looks like there is a little like half ring on the top. So maybe, oh, that O-ring's gone. So that was an O-ring. That looks like it's rubbed and been taken apart. So I'm going to have to replace that O-ring. I think then we're just going to take these other O-rings off and we should be fine. So I'm going to need to find a similar sized O-ring to that one. There's 2 more O-rings there. Now hopefully I can just take this apart. Yes, I can. And there is a hop nub and there is a hop rubber. So it's very greasy in here. Like you can see there the amount of grease that's there. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to leave the hop nub in place. I'm actually just going to wipe this down slightly. Just give me a piece of paper. Because it's very, very messy inside here. Okay, so I'm going to put that away. I'll do the same with the top. Where did we just put that? The top of this as well. I think that's looking similarly like that. Okay, so now we're going to get the new barrel, which I've just got. Lengthwise, yeah, we are a bit shorter. So hopefully that's not an issue, but we'll figure it out. And then we're going to get this new hop rubber from 4UA and TUM, the 4UAD one. And actually there is a hop nub in here. So maybe what I'll try and do is replace this hop nub with this one. Now it's quite a bit smaller. My worry is that it's not going to push high enough. Because it's not. Yeah, this one's got 0 hop there, and then it's pushing up to there. This hop nub, show you the difference in size. That is the difference there in terms of size, and I think that unfortunately the 4UAD one's just not going to be big enough. So we may just have to stick with the CGS or T8 Systems one. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this guy here. Pull him out. And not get anything on the inside. But we want to line this up and push it like that, okay? So that should be good. What I'll do actually is I'll give you guys a desk view also so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So that's what I've done there. I've just basically put the new, that is pushing in there. So if I push in, that is giving on that. So let's hope that that's going to work well. That is it back together. And if I push here, yeah, we're getting the contact. So we'll stick with that. I'm going to put this, which is the larger O-ring, on here. Just to keep it in place. I am always amazed with these hop systems. I think actually the 4UAD one they've done is very different. But the fact that just an O-ring is holding on to this is pretty crazy to me. This one actually was just sitting on the other barrel just there. So we'll leave that there. We'll try and do the same thing. This one's actually got some built-in O-rings. Sorry, here. Which this one doesn't have. But I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. I need to find another O-ring of that size. So I'm going to pause it 1 second. Okay, so here is my nice O-ring selection, courtesy of the amazing Amazon. Let's see if one of these might fit. It might be a bit thick. That's going to be too big. That one's going to be too big. Maybe this one. That might be a bit too small. Let's try this and we'll see how this feels. Okay, there is an O-ring. This might be a bit big, this one itself as well. No, I think this should work. Better than the one that's broken. It's not like great that that's broken. Okay, so that's looking good. That's in place there. I don't know if it's exactly the same size, but it's doing the job. Holding that right there. Okay, so I think we're good with that. We can put this away. Right, so this guy is just going to go to one side. And again, I'm hoping that the size of this is not bad. To be honest, like the quality of that barrel compared to some of the inner barrels that I see is actually not bad. This is one of their purple T8 Systems hops, I think. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the upper back right here. I'm going to push this guy back into that position. And I think that is going to be where he's sitting right now. That seems good. I'm going to take this outer barrel, rotate it the right way. In fact, we don't know which way to rotate it. I'm going to put this this way. Is that right, or are we going the other way? Okay, I'm getting this jammed and stuck, which isn't great. That we need out of the way, this we need out of the way. There we go. Okay, so the larger inlet is going to be this side. Now I just need to make sure that we get this in. Nice. Okay, so that's lined up good. That's got some hop on it, which is perfect. Right, so now we are going to get this in the right location, which is going to be back here and that way. And that's in there. We've got the gas block, which is going to sit perfectly in that spot. And now what I need to do is to tighten up this guy right here. So start getting this on. I'll go you back to the big camera so you can see me. Oh, maybe not. Apparently that camera is now, and that's where I've just been Amazon shopping. Apparently that camera is going to be gone for now, it seems. We just turn it off and on again and make sure we're doing it. So, okay, so what I'm going to need now is basically my barrel nut tool. And we are going to be putting it this way. And rotating it. Like that. In fact, will this fit? Okay, that fits better. Okay, so we'll rotate that. Is this on straight? No, it's not. Okay, so we need that on straight to start with. Push that straight in. Push that in. Okay, now that's going on properly. So that would have been bad. I would have like misthreaded that, which could have been awful. Let me turn this camera back on. Yeah, so that could have been awful. I was kind of like cross-threading that. This guy will fit better if I do it this way. Let me get you up a bit. See how messy my desk is right now. Okay, so if I put this here, we can start to rotate this. Probably should have put some thread lock on there. But actually, if for some reason the barrel and the hop assembly don't work out, then it's good that I don't, because then I have to re-unload it. Okay, so I want to make this tight, not too tight where I can't get it back off, but also tight so it's not going to run loose again. Problem is that, again, similarly is moving. I don't know how we're going to get that onto there in a nice way. Why is that moving like that? That's what I want to know. Because this is just going to have that same issue. So that is on straight. It's an annoying like barrel nut where it's just not that thick. Let's just see if I can get you back here. No, we're frozen again. So obviously that camera is just not working. So I'm just going to keep you guys here for the rest of the video, I'm afraid. Okay, so this guy is just, there's just too much give in it, and it's going to annoy me so much. I already know it is. But I don't think I'm going to get this any tighter, so maybe that's just something that I'm going to have to like shim it or something later. And I don't want to go too tight if this isn't going to, and that's going to take a while to get that down. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we are going to tighten this down, the gas tube and the gas block. Again, I don't want to do it too tight, but I do want to get it in properly. Okay, that's in there nice. Okay, and then we're going to get this guy back on. Slides over there nicely. That's definitely a lot more loose than it was. Or it feels a lot more loose than it was. It's the wrong way. That might be good. Guess we'll get this first one in. That is a larger piece. Get one threaded in. Another one threaded in. Another one threaded in. This is an awkwardly placed one. It's probably like annoying that I didn't take the sight off, which I should do, because it would make it easier, but it's very awkwardly placed, that one. It's actually maybe not got as much movement as it did before. I might have just been kind of under playing that. I should also be able to adjust the FPS on the current trigger box. Like you can kind of like reduce the amount of like hammer pull. Okay, and then let's do it's good. Get this and this, get a little bit more length on it. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's stupid. Just trying to like grip onto it. And where did I just put this? Where did I just put that piece? I've just ended up losing somehow the end piece. Is that because I dropped it and I've just popped it off? Why did I just do that? Have I just, I'm like having a mind blank right now of like what I just did. Actually, of course, that's not going to work with that. I somehow managed to lose the actual screw head, the hex end that I had. Okay, well, that means I'm switching over to my manual, and I need to find that because I'm really enjoying this little wrench set that I have. Let's go with this. Too big. This guy, wrong way. Okay, so he's good. Aha, there it is. It's so dumb. I'm like, where did it go? Discovered it. Okay, well, I'm going to quickly just tighten with this guy and then we'll switch over to it. If needed. Okay, and that's got rid of the wobble, so we're good. Well, we're good for now. All right, let's do this quickly. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's on. That's on. This is on. And that is on. And yeah, we got rid of that, which is great. Okay, so the barrel actually does come to the end. So it actually has come all the way up, which is kind of great. You can see there, it basically is to that end. I think it's not quite as long, literally by like 0.5 centimeter, 5 mil. Okay, so that's that done. Let's check on this guy. Yeah, he's still not. I think I'm just going to do this for like 2 hours straight and just try and get all. That's already better for sure. But look. Just thinking maybe I'd drop a load in on this rubber piece there that's like. Try to like move it around. There's not much movement in the nozzle, which is good. But then I'm getting that, like, if I pull it fully out, or if it's just at the wrong angle. Okay, so we'll keep playing with that. But that now should be our upper done. Right, now we need to move on to the lower. Lower is right here. And I'm going to have to take this trigger box out. So this could be a bit of a nightmare. We'll see. But this is the trigger pull right now. You see here, it's just there's like a little bit of give and then it just goes. And then the reset it wasn't actually resetting fully when I had it out. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to take out this screw. I'm trying to remember how to do this on an MWS. So then let's actually just quickly test this trigger. Make sure it's something we want to put in. This again was expensive, like $90, I think. They do a couple of like sets where you can kind of get different. Maybe I need to change these out. That's the only other thing I'm thinking. That can go in the bin. Right, this trigger box. Okay, that's the mag release there. It's got the adjust here. This is patent pending. That again worries me slightly where it's just not fully sitting in there. Okay, so that's there, that's there. Okay, so that to me feels like quite a hard, and again, it's just not got the like break. It looks like I can then basically adjust this. Is this exactly the same? It looks almost identical. And I think this isn't going to have the hammer power. No, that is going to have that. I think I might have just bought a copy of the same trigger box. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that. I'm going to not, I'm not going to install it. I'm going to double check that this is the correct, this is actually a different trigger box, because otherwise I'm just installing the same trigger box in and it kind of doesn't make any sense to mess around with that. I won't give you my face as well. Yeah, so basically guys, that was a little bit of a non-starter, I think, on the trigger box because it looks identical. And that is the trigger pull on, it's the same. So I can't see how, like the adjustment there adjusts that hammer, and that's the same adjustment here. So when it's saying fully adjustable, I think it's just meaning fully adjustable in terms of power of the hammer, like how hard the hammer's gonna effectively hit the magazine, because that's going to be how much power it puts out. Well, that's how they say it's going to adjust it. One thing I might do though is actually I'm going to adjust this slightly, which is the mag release, because I was getting a bit of issue just on terms of like it was almost not fully sitting in enough. I think that's going to be a bit better just in terms of release. Let's see where the mag's gone. Yeah, that's nicer. That's just releasing it and locking it easier. So I'm going to go with that on there. But let's put it back together and let's just test the speed of it and just see how it's working. So that we're going to leave in here with these little sears, and I may end up returning that if I can't do anything with it, because it's the same thing. I'm not going to remove that. We're going to get this upper back together. I've got the charging handle here. I've got the new bolt, which isn't moving that well. 1 second. Okay guys, sorry, my kid just walked in there. Right, so that's gone in there. I don't really need to do that yet because I need to attach this. I also need to put my front foregrip back on, which I can tell is going to be a nightmare to do that. Okay, that's in. That is in. So you can see there that nozzle is just stalling. Go back. Definitely from this video so far, guys, I would not advise getting this high-speed bolt. Like, I'm gonna have to change the nozzle out on this, I'm pretty sure. Because there's something that's happened there where it's just not. In fact, you know what I could do? Is just have a check and see if there's a way of tightening that nozzle return spring. Let's maybe just give that a quick go. push it up a bit further than that as well. There we go. Okay, yeah, so I think it's this nozzle return spring, or it's just the like friction of it. And now the nozzle's stuck. Like the nozzle there, when I'm pulling it, is stuck. Great. There we go. But that literally got jammed in the end there. So the only thing I'm thinking is I can maybe take one of these shims off or just try and screw it in a bit more. Okay, sorry, kid ran in again and the dog's pooped on the carpet. So maybe I'll try and... Okay, so I can't do that. I think I may have to remove the shim. Holding it in place, and then that does feel like it's kind of moving a bit smoother now. But there, look, see? Okay, let's just roll with it. We're going to figure it out. If not, I'll go back to the original bolt. But for now, we'll test this guy and we'll see what it's doing. That's in there. Yeah, it's just not coming back. It's disengaging, but not enough. Okay, let's try it out and just see what we're looking like. And then hopefully I've not messed it up by putting the barrel in the wrong location, messing up the hop rubber, all of that stuff. We'll just pray that that's not happened, because otherwise I've just broken an airsoft gun and spent a lot of money to break it, which is possible. Okay, that's going to go there, that's going to go there. We'll get the magazine out and put some BBs in it. Okay, now we're going to put this in here. Yep, fire selector's working, that should work. Put my glasses on. Give you guys a little view of it here. Yeah, it's just not. Okay, there, I just double fed it. That's working. And there it is. Yeah, I think it's just going to need like running in, guys. I think it will just need running in, and then we're going to be good. Because it is working. It sounds good. It seems like it's performing at short range. And that at the moment is kind of, you know, what I'm going to be using it for. But we'll see if that continues. All right, guys, so that's been me kind of doing a tech job, like half working, half not. I think I do need to put some hop on this, because that actually just... I might actually just put some hop on here quickly while I've got you on here. Because I think that BB just kind of slipped out the barrel slightly. And it actually was in a slightly different position before, I think. Let's just put this guy over there. Yeah, that nozzle. Let me just try one more with these BBs. I'm actually going to put my super cool glasses on as well for indoor, so you guys can look at me being nerdy. Okay, now that's sticking in there. Yeah, and that worked, and that's good. And that nozzle's actually come back. All right, guys, so that's been me with this DDM4 CGS. I fixed the rail, changed out the hop rubber, did the barrel, switched out this bolt, which kind of seems to be working, and then we left the trigger box. Hopefully that was interesting and good for you guys. Sorry about the camera issues, my kid walking in, all of that stuff, but hopefully this has been entertaining. See you very soon on the next video. Goodbye.